Did you know the wedge is the fastest deteriorating club in your bag? So what do we mean by that? Basically, almost every shot you hit with a wedge has some type of dirt or abrasiveness in between it, and it basically sands down the face. General rule of thumb is you should be replacing your wedges, they say, after about 75 rounds of golf, depending on where you play in the country. And some of you have probably had your wedges for over 750 rounds of golf. Look, I get it. 75 rounds isn't that much, and dropping $200 is a lot of money every time your grooves are going to start to wear down. So we wanted to look at two tools that are out there that claim that they can make your old wedges look new again. Tested the $10 one and the $80 one. Let's find out if these things work. Let's get it. Here's how we ran the test. We had two old wedges. We had a Titleist Vokey and a Callaway X-Tour. We had 15 testers, hit 15 shots each. We did it pre-groove sharpening on each wedge and post-groove sharpening on each wedge. We did indoor testing at a controlled environment of 70 degrees, all with the exact same lie, all data collected with the Foresight GC Quad. But just be aware that anytime you mess with your grooves, you might be putting yourself into a non-conforming situation with the USGA or RNA. Anytime you mess with those grooves, you just never know. But remember, like we've said in previous videos, golf is just a game. So if you're out there for fun and you don't have $200 to drop, this might be an option for you. At around $10, we've got the high form. At around $80, we've got the Groove X. So can the high form actually outperform the $80 unit? We're gonna find out. All right, if you're actually interested in buying one of these groove sharpener tools, here's a quick rundown of how to properly use it. If you're concerned about messing up your club, you can always tape off the heel or toe with some masking tape, just in case you go over the edge of the groove. You wanna make 2 or 3 passes where you pull towards yourself on each actual groove. So, pull toward yourself 2 to 3 times each groove. All right, now let's get to the good stuff. The test is done and the data is ready to view. So let's go take a look and 1, find out if these things work or not, and 2, if they do, which one works better, the $10 unit or the $80 one. All right, first let's take a look at the $10 unit, the high form groove sharpener. Baseline original spin off the Callaway was 6,300. After the groove sharpening, pretty big difference. The high form came in at 7,300. So that's 1,000 more spin that you got back. That's pretty significant. And if you wanted to keep that old wedge, I think you might be able to. Now let's get to the Groove X, the $80 tool. We actually saw a decrease in spin. It started off an original spin on the Vokey at 6,657. After the grooves were sharpened, we actually saw a decrease of spin by 400. Now you might be wondering to yourself, how in the hell could that be true? So we sat down and thought about it a little bit, and what we think might have been the case was the fact that the Groove X might have been harming the older U-shaped grooves of the Vokey. All right, so now that we've looked at the data, the winner, at least for this type of test, is pretty clear. The high form at $10 outperformed the $80 Groove X. So it's a pretty obvious choice, no brainer in my opinion. If you're gonna sharpen your grooves, I would start with the $10 one first in my opinion, the high form. Golfers love to hold on to old clubs, especially ones that they trust. And that means a lot of old wedges are out there still in play. But these new wedge groove sharpening tools say that they can breathe a little bit of new life into your wedges. And the high form proved it. But if you're worried about your wedge now not being conforming, you might want to consider the fact that if you have a really old wedge, it might not be conforming anyway, based on the newer rules. One last thing to remember. In our testing, we did find that new wedges spun more than the sharpened wedges. So, what does that tell me? If you want to maximize your spin, you might have to go buy a new wedge. And also, if you're worried about the conforming versus non-conforming issue, you won't have to worry about that if you buy a new one. So, until next time, we'll see you again, and let us know, are you gonna sharpen your grooves or not?